What's up? We're doing an interview with Alohaworks jam session and video content, and I'm with Skip Kelp of the J-sect Academy in Las Vegas. What's up, Skip?
What's up? How you doing?
All right. So you are the stand-up instructor in J-sect.
Yep. I've been with John since 1998. I used to train John when he was fighting and stand-up, and we merged and opened up a school together, and here we are. He does upstairs grappling. I do downstairs stand-up.
Wow. So how long you been into the martial arts world?
Oh, I've been into the martial arts world as a kid. Then I got out and started boxing, boxed professionally, and now I manage and train MMA fighters.
Really? Yeah, that's what Dave keeps saying, man. You guys train fighters while other places just teaches martial arts.
And we do a little bit of both too. We have classes here where we just teach people who want to learn to defend themselves, who just want to get in shape, and then we have classes and training sessions for fighters.
Right, and now the whole world has been turned upside down in terms of competitive martial arts skills. The biggest thing going for the longest time has been boxing, and now MMA is pretty much taken over. What's the reason for that?
I think MMA has done a better job with getting the audience involved. The live shows are more appealing to the audience. It's just not a fight and then nothing's happening, then a fight. They have the interviews, the whole event is more fan friendly, and I think they did a better job in general of marketing. Like you look at the UFC, they have Spike TV. Everywhere you look, it's UFC. Boxing, they're losing the new generation because they're not marketing properly. There's a big fight and then you don't hear anything else. There's a big fight and then you don't hear anything else. You know, MMA is in your face all day, every day.
Oh, yes, and there's really a lot of federations, a lot of championships. I think they're like, I can't even count. You go to your websites like Sherdog.com and stuff like that, there's like so many, and it's always new ones every month. I mean, is there enough fighters out there or what?
Well, that's the great thing. It's turned into a fighter's market. Now there's more good organizations, good quality organizations coming together where they have to actually compete for quality fighters. And, you know, whenever that happens, the fighters will start making the money they deserve, because the pay-per-view numbers are catching up to boxing. If they haven't already exceeded that. The live gates have exceeded boxing. And
it has already for most of the big...
most instances, unless it's a major fight, an Oscar De La Hoya.
Oh yeah, that type, right.
Fight, the MMA generally are outdoing boxing numbers. So the only thing needs to happen now is the organizations need to start competing against each other and start paying the fighters what they deserve.
Oh yes, I mean, from my understanding, from what I've read, one of the best fighters in the MMA is Chuck Liddell, which trains over here. I think he makes like $1 million. That's including endorsements or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly the number he makes, but you know,
that is nothing for a world-class fighter.
Exactly. When you're the top of the game,
exactly,
and when you know the pay-per-view numbers are as good as they are, you know, it's just it'll happen. You know, it's one step at a time. The promoters still are you know taking small steps, but once, like I said, more competition gets into the game, they're going to start bidding big money for these fighters.
So Skip, you've trained and competed in boxing. I've always wanted to know, what is it like if you put two equally well-trained like MMA guy and a boxer in a ring? I mean, how would they perform?
Oh, the MMA guy would dominate, just because he would go to the boxer's weakness. He would take him down. Now, if you have a boxer that knows how to defend a leg kick and can defend a takedown and defend submission, now you got a different game. Now you have a Chuck Liddell, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, he can't be taken down, even though he's got like a purple belt, or maybe even a black belt now in jiu-jitsu.
He's got enough submissions or grappling to not get caught with anything crazy, I believe, and he's really good at getting up if he goes down, and he's almost impossible to take down. And in the process of trying to take him down, you got to weather a heck of a storm.
I know, he get the little side whipping thing.
His style,
yes,
technically isn't as pretty as you might think for a stand-up guy, but it's so effective, and so in that aspect, he's got a beautiful style.
Yeah, there's always in the talk shows, oh yeah, you know, if you could put a talented boxer out there, you know, MMA guys is not going to compete. I don't think so, man. They got to train in so many disciplines.
You have to respect the game. You have to respect the diversity of the game. If you're just a stand-up guy, just a boxer, you're going to get taken down. Why would a grappler want to do stand-up with a polished boxer? And there hasn't been a real polished boxer in the game yet, and it's going to happen when the money starts picking up. But if that polished boxer doesn't learn the rest of the game, he's just going to get taken down, and then what's he do? Even Mike Tyson in his prime could get clinched.
Yes.
And in an MMA fight, once he's clinched, he's going down if he doesn't want to defend that. So you have to be well-rounded. The days of being just a great jiu-jitsu guy are done. Now guys know jiu-jitsu and they know stand-up. Just a stand-up guy is done. They'll take you to the ground. So if you're not well-rounded, I think you have to be great in one aspect. and then good in everything else, and then you have something that's special. And if you're great in everything, and we'll see that one day with these new kids learning MMA as children, not being boxers, learning how to wrestle, jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about kids who come up knowing MMA, learning MMA. The game is gonna take it to a whole nother level. We're gonna see talent that we can't even imagine right now.
What do you see as the biggest, I guess, stumbling block for MMA right now? Because it is going through the maturity level, like you're saying. You know, it's like, is it because with so many championships, like we said before, is there like maybe a lack of talented fighter versus just brawlers that want to come in and take, you know, knockouts and stuff like that?
I think one thing that MMA does do is they put a good marketable spin on things. So even if it's not a really good fighter, they kind of, you know, put a smoke screen out there to, you know, let everyone believe it is a good fighter. But I think, like I said, with increased money, you're going to get better talent. Because right now, as more organizations come, and all these organizations want to lock guys down for contracts, exclusive contracts, it will be thinned out. Organizations won't have really good fighters fighting their really good fighters. You know, it's going to be some one-sided matchups. But as the game grows and the money grows, the talent will follow.
What are some of the fighters, amateur or professional otherwise, that you think have some really great future in the MMA world right now?
Well,
whatever league they're fighting in.
Well, I think, of course, my fighters, you know, Dan Evanson, he just fought Dan Bobish in a controversial outcome. I got Big Eric Pele back in the game.
Oh, yeah, the big
yeah, Big Eric Pele's got a big fight in Vancouver. And then Marvin Eastman has a chance to get on top in one fight. He's fighting Quentin Jackson.
Oh, yes.
It's like a lottery ticket. If he beats Quentin Jackson, a guy who's knocked out Chuck Liddell, I don't know if he'd do it again anytime soon.
Yes.
Game right now, but Marvin has a win over him. Marvin hasn't been as successful since that win, but he has an opportunity to fight Quentin Jackson for the WFA title. And if he wins that fight, he's back on top. You know, so he has a chance to do big things. And there's some other fighters like there's a kid named Mike Powell, and I think he's a phenomenal fighter, and you're going to hear a lot about him. And there's just a bunch of young guys coming up in the game right now, and it's exciting to see how they perform and how they're going to be in a year from now.
What's the difference in terms of the dedication for young people coming into your gym to study versus a few years back? Are they more serious? Are they the same? Or in terms of them coming in?
Now I think everyone's coming in with a pipe dream because they're seeing MMA everywhere. So everyone comes in, I'm going to be a fighter, I'm going to be a fighter.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't have a clue what it takes to be a fighter. You know, and you know, once they realize you can't just come in and say you want to be a fighter. If you don't know grappling or stand-up, if you're not really good in one of these aspects or a little bit in everything, you need years to develop these skills. And then after you learn the techniques, then say you want to be a fighter. But don't walk in here and say I want to be a fighter and never done anything before. It's different than a street fight. Back in the early 90s when UFC was just popping up, you could be a tough guy on the street.
Just a brawl, right.
A brawler, and you're going to do well.
I was a bouncer in the bar.
No, I fight on the streets.
Yeah.
That's why I get my training. But
I learned from Street Fighting Inc. Whatever.
That doesn't fly anymore. You know what I mean? Guys will neutralize that in a second.
Yeah, a lot of them. Nowadays, there's really a big dream. They don't want to be a boxer. And some of the smaller guys, they just want to be in MMA because it seems so easy, but definitely not.
It's definitely not. There's definitely there's a science to boxing.
Yes.
You know, you have to box for years and years and years to really understand the science. And MMA, it wasn't really like that before. You were good at jiu-jitsu and you just brawl. But now there's a science to this. You know, everyone's learning everyone's game, and now the only thing that separates the good from the great is the little intricacies of the sport. And you know, it's turned into a science as well. And one thing about this science, there's so many avenues. You got to worry about every element of fighting: elbows, knees, takedowns. It's unreal. It's so exciting.
It is way more exciting. I mean, you never know when the fight's gonna end. I mean, somebody could be winning all the way to the end, and then an elbow whoop, and that's it.
You know, it could change at the drop of a hat. You know, and then that's what's so exciting about the game. You never know what's going to happen. Any fighter has a chance. Any skilled fighter, you know, has a chance to win. You can get caught so many ways. So, you know, I love boxing, and boxing has been my passion forever, but the MMA, mixed martial arts, is an unreal thing. When I'm in the corner of a boxing match, you get the anxiety, you get the, you know, the nervous energy. But in an MMA fight, when I'm in the corner there, it's another level of intensity.
Really?
It's a little more gut-wrenching.
In terms of punishment, since you've competed in boxing, I mean, Is it more damaging for a boxer versus MMA because of the punishment they take, because they take the gloves and they just keep whacking on?
I think the long-term punishment is worse for a boxer because the brain doesn't know how hard it's being hit.
Right,
it's rattling.
Repeat it, boom, boom, boom.
It's repeating. It
yes.
goes, and the rounds are a lot longer. You know, the fight lasts longer. One thing at MMA, if you get hit with a really good shot, more than likely you're going to be out. You're going to be cut in the fight or knocked out. So I think the long-term damage is more for boxing, but the immediate damage, MMA all day.
Oh yes, I mean I see it. I mean they have when you watch boxing on TV or pay-per-view or whatever, they have fight count and how many punches land. It's like, oh my goodness,
yeah, that's
50 punches landed in this round only. I mean that's a lot of punishment.
That's a lot of punishment. Very rarely do you see that happen in MMA. You know, there's going to be clinching and you know, and like I said, you got the elbows and the knees. So guys are getting cut all the time and fights are stopping because of these nasty cuts. So like I said, the long-term effect, I believe, is worse with boxing.
Oh, great. Well, you're going to be doing this for quite a while, my guess is, training them, huh?
Yeah, I train to manage these fighters, and, you know, the game's opening up. You know, new young fighters are coming our way, quality athletes, and I got the veterans now. We just need to get them over the hump and, you know, do big things. But, yeah, I'm here to stay. Well,
we'll help all the people in Aloha to go video production come and see you guys. And may you guys do, if they come in on vacation in Vegas, do you guys give, like, a daily session kind of time too, or private lessons?
Yeah.
Definitely, right?
Definitely. We do it all.
Perfect, man. Thank you very much for your time.
Right on.